Okay, video number 1, an introduction to day trading. Let's go ahead and get started here and talk about what is day trading and how I do it during the week just to make a couple extra bucks, okay? And you can do it too, all right? First, what is day trading? Day trading is I'm trading stock options, and it's not something that requires a huge amount of money. You can get in and make trades. You just have to do it with a disciplined fashion so that you don't just lose the money that you're trying to start your trading with. But what I'm doing is for day trading, you open and close a position. You buy something and sell something in the same day. You're trying to make anywhere, try to make 50%, 100%, sometimes more on what you've put into the market. Now, there's a process to doing this, and it's not always a winner. You don't win every day. I don't win every day. Some days I lose, but I set a limit. If I lose a certain amount, if I lose $100 or $150 that day, I quit. I'm done. I come back the next day and try and grab a winner. The bottom line is what I'm doing in day trading is I look at what's already moving or what looks like it's going to move to me. Once I get a confirmation that it is actually moving the way that I want it to, I jump in and I jump out. I just ride it for a little bit just to get a little bit of money off of it. That's why I'm not making huge amounts of money, because I don't ride it that long. You can make more money just by increasing the size of what you're doing, but I do what I'm comfortable with. If you made just $50 a day in the morning, $50 a day, there's 250 about 250 trading days in a year. That's like $10,000, over $10,000 a year just by making just $50 a day. You want to average at least that, or you probably don't want to be even dealing with this type stuff. But this is a process. What this application does is it helps you to develop the discipline and the understanding. I'm going to show you a way that you can just be right, 1 out of 3 times, and you'll at least break even. If you follow the process and do what it says and have the discipline to do it, I'm making money at it. You can make money at it. It's just something to do in your retirement. I've become kind of addicted to it because it's something that I get up every morning and look forward to doing, more so than going to work for somebody else. And that is what it is. Well, you know what that is. Okay. We're not trying to predict the future. We're just trying to use the information that's available to us to make sure that we can make the best decisions possible. The goal is to be consistent and get a repeatable edge. Now, all I want to do is see something that's moving, grab a hold of it, ride it for a short period of time and get out. I don't care if it continues to go up 100 or 200 after I jump out. I don't care. What I want to do is make sure that I limit the amount that I can lose and get what I want out of it. Once I get what I want, I'm done. Once I develop that process, once you have that process working, you can start to put in larger. I'm trading just one contract. If you want to double the amount, if I made $50, if you had done the same thing that I'm doing and you had done 2 contracts, you would have made twice as much. Okay? That's the way to scale up. You don't scale up by becoming more dangerous. You increase a working strategy in order to make things better. Okay? Discipline, I know I'm talking kind of fast in these videos, but they get a little boring after a while, and I don't want you falling asleep and everything on them. I want you to know exactly what this is, what it does, and what you can do to make a little bit of money out of it. Okay? Now, consistent small wins compound. That's where you make your money at. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at the next slide here. Why most traders struggle. The reason a lot of people struggle is because they get emotional. You make a trade and you say, I know it's going to come back. So you continue to hold it. It continues to drop down. And you continue to hold it and you finally give up and you've lost a lot of money. But if it goes up, you say, okay, I made, you know, 50, 30 bucks, and you jump out immediately. You have to have a strategy. What you want to do is say something like 25% loss and a 50% win. Follow that strategy, follow that discipline, and you can make more money by doing that. If stocks drop, let's say if you put in $100 and you lose $25, okay, you get $75 back. If it goes up to 150 and you gain $50 and you get back 150 bucks, that is a 2-to-1 ratio. And what you want to do is stay in that area, because you only have to be, if you're making twice as much as when you win as you do when you lose, all you have to do is be right 1 out of 3 times and you're break even. Okay? You're break even. You'll stay the same. You're not really making money, but you're staying even. You want to get a little better than that, and that's what we're trying to do with this. That's what I'm trying to do with this application, to show you how to do that. Okay. We don't want you to trade against the trend. We want to give you the signals in the application so that you're working with what's going on, and don't be emotional. Get a system, work with it, grab a little money in the morning, go and feel better about the whole day. Okay, and they're absent risk management, so we'll get that with the application. We'll go over that. How we have signals that fire within the application. They tell you when something looks good. It's not a thing where you go, okay, you heard a signal, you go in and click the buy button. No, you go and look at the broker software and say, okay, is this correct? Wait for the next candle and say it's confirmed, it's doing what I think it's going to do. You jump in and you get out. Okay, you grab a little bit of money and you get out. If it goes down, if it changes and goes a different direction before that confirmation, you have a stop loss in there and you immediately stop and get out. Okay, one of the strategies, I'll talk to you about that later. You might think that the market is rigged and you don't want to deal with it, but there are some things that people do. There are people out there with so much money that they can make the market move. There are brokerages and things like that, and they do. One of the strategies that I'll show you, I'll tell you how they actually do that and why when you put your money in, you immediately lose, you get mad, and then jump out. We're going to give you the discipline to not do that, okay? And we're going to talk about the market discipline, the market bias on each tile. No signal, no trade. If you don't see the signal, have the discipline to say no. Not taking a position is a position. You can actually be a trader and not make a trade in a whole day, and that's okay. That's just conserving your money. If you don't want to just jump in and start making bad trades just because you can. Just because you can doesn't mean you need to do it. Okay. All right, let's see. Let's look at the next slide here and see what we're talking about. SPY. I do a lot of trading on SPY because it's very liquid. And what do I mean by liquid? It means you can get in and out quickly. There is a lot of people trading it. So in order for you to buy something, somebody has to be selling it. In order for you to sell it, somebody has to be buying it. In SPY, the spread is like a penny between the buy and the sell. There's a lot that goes into what I'm talking about right now, but I'm going to go over those and make it crystal clear to you what I mean by trading SPY. What is SPY? SPY is the S&P 500. It's the top 500 companies in the country, and they're all put together into one fund. Why do I do that? The one fund, the benefit of doing it with one fund is that if, let's say there's some car crashes or does something, that particular company, their stock's going to drop because of just the bad news against the company, or the CEO does something or somebody says something and the stock starts to drop. By using an ETF, an exchange traded fund, you've got a grouping of a whole bunch of companies together. It moves in a more predictable way. That one company having a problem is not going to stop the entire show. So there are things that you can do to I'll tell you, more about that, but you can look at this slide and see some of the things that we're going to talk about and go over. I'm not going to read these slides to you. You're smart people. You can read, but take a look at them. If you want to freeze the screen and take a look at it, feel free. Okay. All right. Now, day trade. I built this. I day trade. I use it myself every single day. Um, the things that we've already talked about traders being emotional and stuff like that, we're going to help you get rid of that. We're going to give you strategies and help you. You're going to click the buttons and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. It's not going to block you from doing something silly, but you're going to have the information that you need to be a smarter trader. Okay. And we'll go from there. It's a browser-based application. You don't need to download an application. We don't need your brokerage information or anything like that. The application, I've set it up so that it runs on AWS servers. They scale. If there's a lot of people on, additional servers will automatically spin themselves up. So all of that is already taken care of. And that's why I charge a monthly fee, is because I got to pay for those servers and keep them turned on and stuff like that. Okay. Like I said, it's a browser-based application. You don't have to install anything on your phone or whatever, but you can use it on your phone if you like. You just go to your web browser, go to the website, which is daytrade.keytools.us. Okay. But, again, we'll go through that. And let's see what's on the next slide here. The next video that we're going to go through is going to be KeyTools Day Trade, the actual application. I'm going to show you what it looks like, just so you can see the dashboard and see what indicators are there and how the AI works in the application. One thing I want to say before I close this video is, a lot of folks are going to tell you, hey, just put $20 into AI and AI is going to make you rich. That, if it doesn't sound right, it's probably not right. The bottom line is, I'm not saying you can't make money doing that. I'm saying that I don't think it's as likely. So what I do is I put all of this information into an understandable format with an AI assessment that looks at all of those indicators and tells you in plain English, what do you see today? That's what I was doing. I was taking all of those indicators and then dumping it into AI and saying, hey, what do you see out of all of this stuff? So I just put it all in a dashboard and had AI actually look at those indicators and do that. Okay. This video is getting way too long, so I'm going to close this one and I'll be back with video number 2 and talk to you about the actual application. Okay. Take it easy.